We'll just need some red lipstick.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Shady's back.
Tell a friend.
Guess who's back?
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 I created a monster because nobody wants to see Marshall no more. They want Shady. I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want Shady, that's what I'm going to give you. A little bit of weed, mix with some hard liquor.
Yeah, that's what you.
Girl, she don't know shit.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Sup?
We are just two average fools. No, we're the two talking fools.
But we're average.
And we are, just two average. And I mean average girls taking their phone calls to the podcast.
You're welcome.
So welcome back as we are in our old stomping ground. We're in Cumberland Farms.
Cumbies.
I just don't want to be like hovering you. Oh, perfect. We're in Cumberland Farms parking lot. You're going to say, well, why? Because where is the blue velvet couch? Where's Jody Boulevard? We have some issues.
We have some issues.
So speaking of that, so the issue is that, as you guys know, I don't think that episode came out yet, but we have felt some tings that we think that we have felt at our studio.
Yeah.
So until we can get some sage in there, which my sister offered some sage.
And potentially a priest.
Yep. We're not sure, like, if we're going to be, like, spending a super amount of time there.
Yeah.
And Shaba is, like, giving me an ultimatum, and you guys want this podcast to continue. So we're not going back to the studio for a bit. And plus the weather's nice. And
so nice.
We want to stay true to where we started. So we're in the Cumberland Farms parking lot in the car with the sun.
Stomping grounds. Cumbies. Shout out to the Cumbies employees that always are wondering when our next episode's coming out.
Yeah.
This is great, guys. And speaking of which,
and my double chin. Yeah.
McDonald's, we have some listeners at our local McDonald's. You know how we know?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, tell.
Went through the drive-thru the other day for a coffee, no less, or maybe them nuggies, not sure which one. And one of the girls says, wait a minute, you're one of the two. And I said, what? She goes, you're one of the two. You do the dances, the podcast. I said, why, yes. Yes, I am. So shout out to you, young lady. I need to get your name the next time. I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. So at our local McDonald's. We love you guys.
Amazing. I think that's really awesome.
How cool is that? I was like,
really cool.
Made me look like very warm on the inside. Pretty cool.
That's what she said. Hey. I think it's always cool. I don't know how to determine the success level of the podcast. I know one thing. Y'all really showed me and made me feel very vulnerable because when we went to that long form content, our numbers like plummeted so bad. I even questioned about continuing. But as they say,
the show must go on.
The show must go on, and we cannot be like results driven. We cannot do this just based on what month we're monetized because we've reached the level and then another month we don't. So shorter form content, we appreciate you guys. If you'd like to leave us a review on Apple, that's huge for us.
Always looking for the reviews, guys. But you also have to like learn from mistakes too, and we're still growing. I mean, we're only almost
it's not even been a year.
Yeah, it's not even been a year yet. We're almost there, but like, you got to learn from, you got to kind of like learn from what works and what doesn't work, and then go from there.
A customer at work today, I was talking and I'm like, oh, I'm going to leave early to meet you to do the podcast. And he's like, oh, you got a podcast? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, what is it about? And I was like, it's like a talk show. Like, we don't fall into a category. It's not like you're going to come onto our talk show and you're instantly going to learn like all this shit. I think it's relatable. It's a relatable talk show mini-series. It's a relatable mini-series where we can just be average, like, you listen to us if you're cleaning your shower or scrubbing the toilet or going for a walk with the dog, or you want like mindless stuff to do in the car ride. We're your girls.
Right.
And if anything, we make you feel better about yourself.
I mean, at least, we try to. The oldest had a speech the other day and had mentioned this podcast, which I thought was like the sweetest thing on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely inspiring and impacting a lot of people. I do owe some members of my church an apology. One of the ladies on Sunday, I don't know, did I tell you that?
She listens, and you were cussing up a storm.
I think it was one of the clips that we
What did
must
she
have
say?
posted. She was like, Shayna, I love you guys together. She goes, you girls are a hoot. Never change. But I do have to mention, I heard you say the F word.
That's not right.
And I just stood there. What do I,
It's Jane.
and I was like, oh,
I know.
what do I say? What do I say? I'm not
Well, here's the thing about, I know it's Jane. I know it is.
and that's my right hand.
I know our fans, but I also know that Jane doesn't listen to the podcast. Like, there are people that are like, we've got like podcast loyals, like they are ride or dies for us. I could literally,
and we have the people that love our reels.
but a lot of our followers love us for basically the video portions, the video reels we're making of our podcast. Then your ride or dies who like love podcasts, then they're listening on all the major things. So we're trying to hit you guys from all different angles. We're trying to hit
everybody up, but yeah, like, but what do you say? You're at church, right? And one of the elders says to you that they heard you say that.
I know what we do. I know what we do. I need to be better. First of all, usually I always bleep us out, but I miss. I will make sure going forward, out of respect for our elders, because I do respect them. And my mom's an elder, and I don't want her to.
We love you, Mrs. P.
But I don't want her listening to the podcast.
No, for sure.
I don't want my mom, and I don't want Jane listening to the podcast.
Right. Or my Grammy. I'm like, oh my goodness, that would be like me swearing in front of my Grammy. I would never do that.
Because we have to feel comfortable. This space to me is like sacred. So like, if you don't like us cussing, then you don't like well, it's that my mom loves me, but she don't like cussing, and I don't blame her. So like, just don't listen here. Because I want to be able to say whatever the fuck I want to, whenever I want to. Right.
I was a little late there, but yeah, I know, buddy.
So, but out of respect, going forward, we'll bleep them, or we'll just not. That I think that's.
We'll work on it. Whatever. It's very freeing to just drop a nice big F-bomb once in a while. But I was like,
facts.
Yeah. So I had to tell you that, and I had to tell you guys that too, because I was like, oh my gosh, what do I say? But again, I do go to church because I am human, right? And I have to ask for forgiveness from my potty mouth, also.
Yeah.
And other things.
Lord helpeth this girleth. That's all I can say.
Amen.
Amen, sister. Amen.
I received that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, this is a great look right here. See,
I love this.
This is what it's about.
The weather is like here.
Look at these young gentlemen. There's 4 young gentlemen on their mountain bikes, and one is wearing a cutoff. And these young gentlemen don't understand. Oh my God, he's going to get hit by a car.
Oh my gosh.
Why are these people not slowing down? What is going on? Oh my God, he's a little hellraiser. Yeah. But anyways, it's very cute. Warm outside. We are in spring. This is New England, and I have something interesting I want to bring up to you.
What are we talking about?
She doesn't know, you guys, and neither do you. But I've been wicked excited about this episode for some time, and I did a little research on it because I knew it existed, but it is harder than I thought to find info out on this. So preface this, okay?
Okay.
I feel like with you, and I'm not just saying this, I truly do believe there's an issue with you and technology.
1,000%.
Like, things just do not function ever correctly.
1,000%.
We had this notes, the Notes app, if you're an iPhone user. We had a notes section for our group of friends back in the summer of the summer of 2023. And Shaba you were voted in as secretary, and then one day she randomly realized that she lost all the notes.
All of them.
That she had taken of all these great ideas that we had created at the Pentagon, which is a table that looks like a Pentagon. Yeah. That's how we call it the Pentagon.
And so it's very exclusive. Yeah, only certain people could be members of the Pentagon.
We didn't want you rolling up if you weren't part of the Pentagon or a guest. It's kind of like your local Italian benefit society.
But like more exclusive.
Like even more exclusive than that. Like, but you couldn't even have parties here. But
the craziest part of it was you would think like everybody was like, oh, go in the garbage or not the garbage, but go in the trash and see if you accidentally like deleted it. I'm like, I didn't delete it. And I went in the trash. It wasn't there. And then we had one of the kids look through like the history of the phone.
You had your girls look through it, and I trusted them.
And Tuesday's daughter, one of the girls, had helped me also.
Right.
And like, we couldn't find them. They just poof,
Gone.
poof, just nowhere to be
That
found.
was a lot of good info. That was just
A lot of really good info.
okay. So,
And then I almost got voted out, or not voted out, but my position almost got voted. I don't know. What am I supposed to do?
well, you're supposed to look at me and look at her window. The frame of it is she put rhinestones on it. That's kind of cool. So this woman here, she's getting gas with her cutie little daughter, and she has rhinestone crystals all around the frames
That's
of
actually kind
her.
of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want you doing it. Like you would look stupid, so don't. But she even did
Did you
her
see my face? Did
license
you see?
plate.
I was like, well, wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait, is that who we think it is? Oh,
JMM?
no, from
Oh,
Vance. That's from our
no,
buddy
that's
from
not
Vance.
him.
That's who it looks like.
Why would he be here?
Why wouldn't he be?
Because he
They're here
doesn't.
all the time because of, you know.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Now that you say that,
Yeah,
I suppose it could be him.
I'm wondering.
Anywho's.
I mean, who's those?
Okay, so Shaba has an issue with technology, and it's
1,000%.
noticeable. It's not just this thing where
Oh
she's
my
like
gosh, yeah. There's no
clumsy
denying it.
or shitty or anything. No,
Just to put it like before you go here, just to give the listeners and our audience
I
an
have to get
example.
used to I love your hair this short.
Thank you.
Like, I don't understand why you would ever not have it this short. Like, this is so cute,
It's the
especially when the
weather.
curls are in full force.
Thank you. It's the weather.
She reminds me of a pink lady or something like that.
Listen,
Like,
ooh, I'm here for it.
no,
I'm here for it.
you know what you remind me of?
Oh no, not a pink lady. I don't want to be a pink lady. I want to be.
I know who. You remember that astronaut movie? You remind me of them. Those the class that came out wrong. The class asses. That's not what I meant. They were class acts. But I feel like it was like
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
yes, and like at that time it was taking place in the
I
60s
know what you're talking
and
about.
they had shorter hair and I
I'm
always
here for
felt
it. The really smart ladies
okay,
that
so
work
now
at
you
NASA.
know.
Yeah,
One
thank
time,
you.
can we just please tell them what I come on?
No, no, bro.
No, no,
Trust
no,
me.
no, 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 no. Listen,
No, to
listen.
protect you, I think we should not. Wait,
Okay,
honest to God.
I'm gonna tell you guys. Okay, I know how I'm gonna say it, Shabba, to
But
them.
okay.
I know how I'm gonna listen.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, the funniest story ever. But I can't tell you everything because Shaba is protecting me. But one time we were out here and we were podcasting and like we acknowledge that we don't always look like at our top or whatever. So this day Shaba just didn't give a shit, which is fine
I
because
did it. I did it. Nope.
most days I didn't give a shit.
Nope.
Now, here's how I'll end this because then I have to get onto the topic.
Mm.
I referenced how Shaba looked to a character in a movie, and that's all I'm going to say.
Smart.
And the only problem is that I never watched the movie.
Okay, good. Just stop there, buddy.
I never
Stop there, buddy.
watched the movie, but I would like to think that in my past life I was a stand-up comedian. So it just rolled off my tongue, the reference. And when I said it, her response was less than enthusiastic as it usually is. And that's when I said, ooh, maybe that reference wasn't right, stupid Kate. And as it turns out, it wasn't. And I didn't say one, but two different references, two very wrong references. So,
But you didn't know. You didn't know.
I didn't know. Ignorance, truly, honest to
Yeah.
God, is bliss. And thank God Shaba acknowledged that I was ignorant.
Well, then I asked her, I said, did you see the movie, buddy? And you said no. I said,
You were so mad at me. I'm like,
what?
What did I say that was so wrong? And then I Googled it.
Just leave it at that, please.
That's it. Anyway, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Do not ask me more in the comments.
Yeah, please don't, because you're not going to get an answer. I'll take that with me to the grave.
Because you all would criticize me.
Yeah, people are
but I didn't know.
these days. People are crazy. But the technology thing, right? So just to reference this, I went through when I was in banking. True story.
Yeah.
5 laptops. 5. In less than a 1-year period.
What does that tell you? Was it because you were breaking them?
I wasn't breaking them. Something inside was happening. I had a personal cell phone number of one of the IT people within our IT department in corporate in case anything happened because they had a record of what was going on with these laptops and I needed them in order to do my job because there was a lot of traveling involved locally, you know what I mean? So I needed a laptop, a functioning laptop. And because of the ongoing issue, I had a cell phone number that I could reach out to directly.
And then at her new job, God forbid when they had to shut the office down for 2 days, she could not even get her computers up working at home.
I was on the
For
phone with two
everyone
different
else, it was
companies,
fine, except for
two
Shaba.
two different companies, two different companies for two different issues, and then come to find out, neither of them were even caused by me. And that's when I learned, I'm like, yeah, I can't be a work from home employee. I can't do it. More power to all of you that are. I know for a fact I can't do that. I need the comfort of going into an office. All my stuff stays in one spot. At the end of the day, leave and then I come back and all my stuff is there. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, no. Anything too complicated, I can't do it.
So there's Shaba.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's somebody else I know. I cannot be for certain that, and I've read this. It could be one or the other. Sometimes things get blurred, but you understand. This kid makes me so scared on his scooter like that. That kid right there. Thank God he's wearing a helmet. Oh my God. Some people, when they're around clocks, they kind of go wonky, especially like watch clocks. Some people can't wear them.
I've heard that.
Okay.
I've heard that.
Well, we're going to get to it today, ladies and gents, and I'm going to tell you exactly what this is called, and you can do more research and you can see that it's hard to find info on it. Once you know what it's called, then it's not. So this is called this. Why are you laughing?
Because I'm like interested.
Okay, but usually you don't laugh when you're interested.
Interesting.
You're called, these people are called slider people, slider person. And it stands for the SLI in it stands for streetlight interference. Okay. That's what they're called. It's also known as, hold on, Purse.
For sure.
It's also known as high voltage syndrome. And it's like when there are glitches in the electromagnetic fields. And interestingly enough, from the research I did, our heart has its own electromagnetic field. And sometimes in these in extreme emotional states, especially when you're either excited or you're angry or you're super stressed out, that's when you can actually almost like peak these electromagnetic fields. What do you
I've been having phone issues at work for the last couple of days, and it's only Tuesday.
like? Here's an example of one that I read.
Like ongoing phone issues.
Yeah. This is a big example. And now what I've read is like if your emotions are like at extremes, and again, it could be sadness, it could be anger. It's however your body, I guess, takes it. But it's almost like it creates like this high voltage in you. It messes with your own electromagnetic field, which in turn messes with the electronics around you, like watches on your wrist and things like that, things that you touch. The streetlight interference, the reason that started was because there were people that they were talking about how they can actually be driving under streetlights and they'll shut off or they might flicker or even bulbs will break.
Wait, so are we like X-Men or something?
No, but what happens
that's pretty cool.
It is. It's quite interesting, but it's because, again, how they say that your heart has its own electromagnetic field. And when your emotions are at these weird states of like high levels, that's when this can happen more.
Oh, so I can't be like Storm and just like let like lightning and stuff come and have like a cool costume and
This
stuff?
isn't like that movie. This isn't like that movie, Powder. Do you remember Powder?
Oh, that was a good movie.
But actually, yes,
that
it was.
a really good movie.
That was
That
a
was
fantastic
sad.
movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Do you know what's interesting about that?
It's based off a true story, right?
I don't know that.
I thought so.
I gotta look that up. That's a bit. Powder was, well, maybe Powder being albino, super albino, because there are people in this world who don't necessarily look as powdery as
but
Powder.
I think there was something.
Look at this guy walking like he's got like a stick up his ass.
Yeah, he does.
Like, what is that?
I don't know. but not necessarily his capabilities with like the spoons and the silverware and stuff like that. But I think there was something having to do with the movie. There's parts of the movie that are based off of a true story. I thought.
Well,
I would have to
maybe,
look it up. I would have to
maybe
look it up too. Don't quote me on it, guys. Don't quote me on it.
nobody is, don't worry. But maybe he
No
had
shade.
slider personality. Actually, I'm going to look that up and I'll get back to you guys.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what they were referencing. But it exists. And
If my
actually,
phone wasn't in my car, that's all the
oh
way over
my
there. I
God,
would look it up.
Shaba, you're never you. It would take you
Yeah.
15 minutes to figure out how to even Google it anyway.
Yeah, on my watch it would.
No, on your phone. And
Man,
okay,
the
so
shade today.
you've been saying that the last like 3 times, but it's not shade, it's the truth.
Mm, shade.
So how to assist with you? So if you suffer from this, if you're somebody that you're listening to this, here's some things that they comment a lot and they say can actually help you. One is meditation. Two is grounding with the earth.
I
So
like that. I like grounding.
very important to take any plastic off and actually have your feet barefoot and
Mhm.
touching the ground for 15 minutes. They say a big problem with this world is that there's too much barrier between us and the ground, like rubber
Valid.
and plastic and fucking cracks.
Valid.
They also say that time alone is important. Witchcraft or spell work, we're not,
Not
well,
that
I'm
type.
actually not, but you could be a slider person. You know what, Shaba? It's interesting. We're gonna bring awareness to this because I do think you're a slider person.
I think so too.
Do you think so too?
Yeah, but I just wish it was cooler than just being
And
a slider
crystals.
person. I thought it was like, I wish there was more to it. Like,
Listen to this one chick that has it. One woman, she could not wear watches. She also goes through cars, and it was the radios in the cars and the air conditioners that were breaking so frequently she couldn't even have it. She could not even. They could not even fix them.
man, that's deep. That's tough. Especially in the summertime. Just roll down a window, man.
Now,
Be one with the earth,
you know
the
how,
air.
whoops, my big old belly. Do you remember? So they say that your heart has its own, like, it has its own rhythm and stuff, but the earth does too. Did you know that? And we
I
talked
have
to
heard
them.
that. Yep.
Yep. And it's called, I forgot, resonance, something resonance, but it's the earth's heartbeat. And there was a time when you can actually look at it. There's you can actually watch it and track it. And a lot of people on the holistic side do. But there was a time recently, not too long ago, I said to him, like, what is going on with people? Does it feel like people are like out of their mind, like batshit crazy? And wouldn't you know that I checked that thing? It was like peaking very, very high.
I believe it. I told you I'm not going to say here what was said at work, but what I was called earlier. Remember?
No.
By the 80-something-year-old man.
What were you called?
Not really going to say it to our listeners because
Why?
it was the gentleman I texted you.
I already forgot.
Yeah.
What?
We'll talk off there.
No, but you can't do that.
Well, because we don't want to bring politics into this and
But what did he call you?
a maggot.
Oh. Oh.
I don't know if I was going to say that.
A maggot. I hate maggots.
Yeah, but he was talking about the fact that we had flags everywhere. Because apparently it's a crime to be a Trump supporter and have American flags everywhere. And be proud to be an American.
So you're a slider person. I really believe that. I truly do. I honest to God believe that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do more research every time, Shaba. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to take a little like notepad. Every time Shaba like has an issue, she loses her fucking notes, even though she is the secretary of this podcast too. Was a good idea. Also, check this out. You can't see that, listeners. Oh my God. Can you see that bling? I get so freaking irritated. The other day, I asked customer for photos because I sell tile and I do design. And I asked this customer to send me photos. So I'm like, well, innocent me said, here's my cell phone. Just text them to me because it's easier than sometimes taking somebody's email or whatever. And the first thing he does is he sends me a link to download WhatsApp. Now, I don't know why that is necessary. Just send me the GD photos, right? And then he's like, "Oh, it's so good to see you and you're beautiful." I'm like, "Whatever. I don't want to wear my wedding ring." So, boom. How do you like them apples? Now ask me. Am I taken? Hell yeah, by 2002. Softball, Bulldogs. All right, this was a great episode. You're a slider person. I hope you guys learned something. We told you we're sticking to shorter content. I just diagnosed Shaba. She doesn't look happy with me.
No, I'm a little confused. We just I think towards the end, we kind of just went all over the place.
Yeah, yes, we did. But it's at 26 minutes.
It's all good. I'm here for it, bro.
Very good. Very good. Well, what do you say? Should we go to the next one? We've got more to talk about.
Peace.